Hazy sunshine, more high clouds, and warmer on Thursday. Good Wednesday night, East Tennessee. David Aldridge, Captain Accurate here from the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. Well, you can see from the Ultimate Doppler Radar, presented by Madlock Tire Service and Auto Repair, East Tennessee's #1 tire shop and auto repair since 1953. We have a lot of purple counties across East Tennessee that refer to the freeze warning. Now, some counties, including the Smokies, are not included. That's a judgment call based on the growing season from the National Weather Service. But you'll notice there's a lot more where that came from. Most, if not all of Georgia, either under a freeze warning or a frost advisory. In fact, you go all the way to Tallahassee, Florida, they're also under a frost advisory until tomorrow morning. So very cold across the southeast, more snow across Montana, parts of New England as well. Got to talk about this though. We have seen very few clouds today, and all of a sudden now beginning to see some of those high, thin cirrus clouds stream in from the northwest, so we'll keep it mostly clear tonight. Our high temperature today hit 54 degrees. Now keep in mind, that's 7 degrees below normal, and it was 2 degrees warmer than what I expected. I expected 52. But we started the day at 26. Boy, that's cold, with a peak wind gust of 18 miles per hour. But the sun goes down at 7:43 on this particular night. Now notice the high temperatures. 56 was the high in Oak Ridge. It was only 50 in Morristown and 52 in Sevierville. So 52 might have been an average for most of the area, but the valley certainly made it into the mid-50s, about 55 there in Athens as well. But high temperatures around the state, 58 in Nashville, 57 in Chattanooga, only 49 today in Johnson City. This freeze warning that does start at midnight will last until 10 a.m. for the counties you see shaded in purple, as issued by our friends at the National Weather Service, dropping into the 20s. Now, I want to talk about St. Patrick's Day. You know it's going to rain on Friday? Boo! But you know we have a parade in Knox County, in Knoxville, along Gay Street at 7 p.m. Now, the question is, will the rain be gone? I think it's going to begin to taper. It's going to begin to move to the east, and as it does so, the Knox St. Patrick's Parade, 7 o'clock, will look like this. And oh yes, it might be a little drippy. The streets are certainly going to be wet, but the clouds will still be hanging tough, as they'll be mainly gray even at the conclusion of the big parade. Future rainfall does show as much rain as we are likely to see, about a ½ inch to an inch, but it might be a little skewed south of Interstate 40. So let's go right to Friday. If you think it's going to be a little skewed, what do you mean? Like ½ inch to an inch around Maryville. Maryville maybe closer to an inch, maybe closer to 1.25 inches in Tellico Plains. Compare and contrast La Follette or Oneida, perhaps maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch. So if this were to verify, drop for drop, we'd have heavier rains mainly south of Interstate 40. But we all get wet, it will be soggy, and most of it should be beginning to move to the east of town by the time we hit 7 o'clock on Friday night. Now, the snow, what about the snow? You mean there could be some snow in the Smokies? There could be. Maybe as much as a ½ inch in some spots. But again, as it moves to the east, the colder air will wrap around, so higher elevations may pick up a little bit of a dusting in spots. But as far as this temperature outlook, it's not looking all that warm, even as we head into the first full week of spring, because spring starts officially March 20th. This represents March 21st through March 25th. And it's below normal, kind of a light shade of blue, but still, technically, the normal high is 61 this time of year. Normal low is 40. And we've got many more mornings in the 20s heading into the 7-day forecast. Let me show you the futurecast. We've got dry weather tonight, mostly clear skies, and it's freezing cold once you start the day tomorrow. But once we move into midday, I think you'll notice more in the way of high clouds. Oh yes, those high, thin cirrus clouds will thicken as we head toward 5 p.m. Then eventually the rain comes in perhaps between 2 and 6 a.m., depending on where you live, but it slides in, and it will continue to rain rather heavily. Look at that. That's 2 hours before the parade. Oh, you said it was going to taper. Oh, it'll taper. By the time we get to 7 o'clock, most of it's going to be east of town. But it will have already dried out in places like Cookeville and Crossville, because it's going to march to the further east as we go through time. By 10 o'clock, maybe some mixing there in pink and blue off to the Smokies by 10 o'clock. So all of it will be racing out of here. And there's still some flakes there in blue, even at 1 o'clock Saturday morning. So depending on the track and the timing of the cold air, they're more likely to see a little bit of a mix, but not a huge deal. If you're hiking, if you're heading up there or driving through the Smokies, just be mindful there may be a few snowflakes for you. But Saturday looks mostly sunny and rather chilly. So for tonight, mostly clear. It's still freezing. The cold emoji shaking the teeth. The teeth are chattering. It's like, oh, those are cold. That's cold. I'll tell you, it's cold. 29 degrees. Maybe not like 26, but still pretty cold for this time of year. Normal low is 40. We're down to 30 in Maryville. about 29 in Oak Ridge, 28 Morristown, should drop into the mid-20s for our friends in Middlesboro up in Bell County. Thursday, looking for a high of 63, so we're in the low to mid-60s, and it's all being driven by that southwest wind, precisely 5 to 15, gusting to about 25 miles per hour. It's a warmer day with more high clouds. 65 for Newport. Pair of 6s for Tellico Plains, about 59 for Crossville, 60 for Oneida, and 61 for Jacksboro and La Follette. So here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. Periods of rain on Friday, a little bit of a mix, changing over by Friday night, Saturday morning, but it's gone by the time the sun's up. But look at that. Sunday we have the, I believe it's the Knox Shamrock Fest at World's Fair Park. It's super cold, 23 in the morning, 43 to finish. That's even colder than it was today. That's even colder than it was yesterday. Yesterday's high was 44. But then we're back in the low to mid-50s Monday and Tuesday. Looks like things are more sunshiny skies for the outlook and dry, but awfully cold even heading into early next week, especially in the mornings. By the way, you can keep track of it all using the Captain Accurate Weather app. It's free. Just go to the App Store, Google Play. It has Pete Michaels Traffic. You can get the Pete Michaels Traffic Weather Report anytime you touch the button on the app. You do not have to wait for the radio station. And how cool is that? Just search Captain Accurate at the App Store and Google Play. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.